Wonderful Nigerians and fans of living television. I am glad you're there again for another wonderful edition of Nigeria Today. We're really very sorry for yesterday. Issues of the moment couldn't come your way for obvious reasons. We're very sorry about that. And I know a lot of fans of living television called in to ask immediately after the program was supposed to be on air. But once again, we're sorry about that. Today in Nigeria Today, we are going to look at so many topics. Wonderfully enough, today we have a great analysts who are in the house today to do justice to this. First, Nigeria, Abga, must reclaim Imo State, says Soludo. Petrol should be over 800 naira per litre without subsidy, says Ipman. The chieftain of APC dumps the party for AA in Kogi State. I did not forge my certificate, says Atiku. Petrol stations shutting down, marketers warn. Inec integrity under scrutiny over choice of manual transmission. Lagos State government seals churches, nightclubs, and others over noise pollution. These and many more we'll be looking at today. In today's discuss, from my far left, I have Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwogu. Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwogu is a security consultant, first and foremost a practicing lawyer here in Enyimba City, Aba, and also a public affairs analyst. Barrister, welcome to the program.
Thank you, moderator. Good day, viewers.
After him, I have Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi is a historian, a political affairs analyst, and a public affairs analyst. He has a very wonderful relationship with God. He is a televangelist. Comrade, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me this afternoon. Good day, viewers.
All right, I'm starting with you, Council. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, on Tuesday insisted that Abga will reclaim Imo State in the November 11, 2023 governorship election. Recently, we know what has been happening in Imo State, and there are so many parties, both the LP, PDP, AA, and so many other parties. Before now, Abaribe had gone there to make the same announcement. But on Tuesday, just yesterday, the governor of Anambra State also stated that again. And the incumbent governor of the state is warming up seriously for a second term. So how is it going to be possible?
Well, Imo State is an interesting battleground politically. And it has been so for quite some time now. Even in the security aspect, Imo State has also been a place to watch. The gladiators in Imo State have prepared, arrayed their forces, and they are set to do battle, including the seen and the unseen in Imo State. Yes, Imo State at a point in time became an Abga state, and from there to APC, it used to be PDP. In the days...
Carlos Party.
PPA.
Yes, PPA. Yes, it was PDP, PPA, and so on and so forth. In the days coming, we are going to see how it will play out. I don't want to go by what Soludo is saying, because the political terrain in Imo State is entirely different from that in Anambra State. Governor Hope Uzodimma, if you also observed how he came to power, how he came into office, and the events that have played out since he became governor of Imo State. It's not been very smooth ride for him or for the state either. But ABGA has not really demonstrated before now that clout to win election with ease in Imo State. They might win, it's going to be a very tough battle. PDP might win, it's going to be a very tough battle. APC might retain power, it's going to be an even tougher battle. None of them will have it easy. If I can make an early forecast, I wouldn't be surprised if we witness some form of rerun or runoff to determine the winner. It may not be very feasible in the first run of election to have a clear-cut winner emerge. That is my own personal opinion.
Okay, comrade, talking about APC and what is happening in Abia State, from so many comments of Imo State rather, and from so many commentaries from that state, because of these incessant killings and so on, the insecurity in Imo State. Would any person think about APC coming back to power again based on what Soludo is asserting?
Yes, I think this has been the issue. A burning one, if you ask me, a very sensitive one that we've been talking about. The security landscape of the state, especially as witnessed under the incumbent governor, Hope Uzodinma, whether it will, in one way or the other, affect the outcome of the state elections. But if you look at it very, you see that Hope Uzodinma is someone who has been very strategic and intentional. Yes, in all his political outings. The last local government elections, I think of all the 27 LGAs, his party cleared everything. They also had a significant share in the National Assembly election. You know, Imo State belongs to, it's among the states that have what we call off-cycle elections. Their elections don't happen when other states are holding theirs. Imo State, Anambra, Bayelsa, Ekiti, Osun, Edo, many of them, about 8 or 9 of them now. So we are all expecting to see the clash of the titans, because all the political parties there are also fielding candidates they feel are sellable. Labour Party, ABGA itself. And then where ABGA had actually been the party in power, I think under Rochas Okorocha until then, he went to the APC. But I should think that this election is also one that will also test the capacity of Inec to hold the election. And then there are also security concerns, because whether the lessons of 2023 had been learned will reflect on this election. So being that we are having a security concern too, is also another factor, because some persons believe that the governor is likely to be favored. There are places in Imo State you no longer have presence of the youth, places like Akata and the rest of them. There are many. So I think the election is one that will actually, to a very large extent, define the political landscape of Imo State, and to an extent the Southeast too.
All right. On Tuesday, oil marketers countered the position of the federal government as they insisted that the current pump price of PMS, premium metal spirit, should not be less than 800 naira per litre. They also said that if there were no subsidy, that considering the amount from 590 naira to 620 naira, depending on the area.
Yes.
And that means there is still subsidy.
Yes.
If we are talking about removal of subsidy, then the pump price should be about 800 naira now. The council,
The problem is that the government of today, which has been the government for the past 8 years, is always double speaking. They speak simultaneously from both sides of the mouth, and it becomes difficult trusting them on any issue. It doesn't matter what. On every, virtually, they tell us lies on issues that may warrant prevarication. On issues that require nothing of the sort, they also tell us lies. It has become difficult to determine what this administration of this political party in power is up to, or what they actually want from Nigerians. You tell us there is no subsidy, and we still hear from your own officials that there is subsidy in place. You tell us it is deregulated, and yet you go ahead to tell us this is the price. If they want market forces truly to determine the price of this product, they should allow the laws of economics to work. If they think that is not proper, then they should stop pretending that there is no more subsidy and go ahead and tell us we are subsidizing. Everywhere in the world, the government subsidizes something. Mine is that food should be subsidized. When people are less hungry, they are also less prone to certain crimes. But when they are hungry, and then upon that, you heap things like unavailability of certain products, even when they are not available, you see a little, you can't pay for it. It's terrible. So the marketers are echoing something. That is also my personal view. They have gotten used to feasting on certain things for doing little or nothing. It's like the dog that has gotten used to eating the large intestine of a ruminant. You know, these animals that we call ruminants, like goats, sheep, and cow. It has gotten used to eating that part you call the towel. And so when it now sees a man with a swelling of the scrotal sac, that dog, because it has gotten used to it, it will start salivating. That is the problem of the marketers today. The marketers have gotten used over the years to free money under the guise of subsidy. And so everything is being done to ensure that the local refineries don't work. The subsidy, you continue paying for it. So that you bring in something at 1,000 naira and you now want to sell it at 10,000 naira because you know nobody will pay you. You now elevate everything and say the differential is 9,000 naira and the government pays you 9,000 naira as subsidy. That is the problem we are having. The marketers are part of the problem we are having. There are others there, but they are part of it.
Okay, comrade.
Yes.
People are already lamenting on the fuel pump price at 620 naira, especially here in Aba
Yes.
and most other places. And now the marketers are talking about making it 800 naira per liter.
Some even said 1,000.
The fact is that the truth there remains that we may actually be running a subsidy economy, not a subsidy-free economy, a subsidized economy under this regime. And I will back it up with facts. The marketers actually came, in fact, MOMAN, you understand, Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, then that man, you understand, they all came out to say that the landing cost per liter of petrol is 729. So why are Nigerians buying 620 naira? Which means somebody somewhere is paying for something within that chain.
So we are told.
That is the thing. You understand? Now the government itself said subsidy is gone. In fact, I think only yesterday or 2 days ago, the group chief executive officer, that's the GCEO of NNPC Limited, said subsidy had been removed and that there is nothing again the government is doing towards reintroducing it. And he was now asked the question, say, why is it that we are witnessing this price? He said there is a way the government is intervening. He used the word intervention. But to my knowledge, that intervention may also mean subsidizing. And I will begin by saying this. See, Council was actually saying something. There is this saying in Igbo land, you understand? So government is subsidizing, and let them be clear about it. Let them come clean. Let them tell Nigerians than leave us in darkness and carry out these policies shrouded in opacity, vague policy. And I will explain something. Do you know that President Muhammad Buhari also claimed to have removed subsidy, and he named it under recovery payment? But in practice, the NNPC was now the only marketer, the only importer of the products. The independent marketers, the IPMAN, were now buying from them through the subsidiary of NNPC known as Nigerian Petroleum Product Marketing Company. Now, Tinubu came. Tinubu said he was going to do what? Issue licenses to more marketers. I think today we have about 90 of them. The implication became that the same Tinubu who, see where the problem is now, the same Tinubu who was giving these marketers license now went and floated the Naira vis-a-vis the dollar. The Naira took a fall. The dollar rose. And you know the implication is that this product you're talking about, everything about this is determined in dollar. It become difficult for these marketers now to do what? To float. The dollar itself even became scarcer. It was now hard for them to do what? To get the product. The government had to come in. But they are not telling us that they are still, they are not telling us that they are still subsidizing. And that was why I said, the reason why we are having this thing go up to 700, 800 is because of the Naira. It's no longer doing well vis-a-vis dollar. Now listen, no reasonable government will remove subsidy where we are. And Council has said this already. You don't remove subsidy when your refineries are not working. Even as we are today, the refineries in Port Harcourt and Warri and Kaduna, what their capacity is 445,000 barrels per day. Your quota from OPEC is 1.7 million barrels per day. OPEC had to cut it down because of oil theft and the inability to meet the quota to 1.3 million barrels per day. Now, even if your refineries were to run optimally, if you are to activate these refineries, if they are to come on stream, you still have refining gap. And we are not being told this. So, to me, I think what the federal government needs to do is to go back to the book or go back to the drawing board. Federal government should not be saying something differently from what Ipman, from what Penderson, from what all these unions are saying. You understand?
Even the chairman of TUC.
TUC, yes. Because if you look at it, you see that somehow the federal government has not given its own name, like Buhari said, under recovery payment. You understand? Just to change subsidy to under recovery payment. The truth is that to an extent, the government may be subsidizing something because the only time the market forces will even play well in this sector is when the refineries are working. You no longer need to do what? Import these products. The marketers are the importers. It's unfortunate. And within that value chain, they don't want to be displaced.
They have gotten used to eating.
They are getting used to, yes, they are the importers. They are the ones with, in fact, there is nothing like marketing. Just call them importers, licensed importers. You give them license to import the product God has given to us. You are shipping abroad to be refined. And I think it's high time the Nigerian Local Content Development and Monitoring Board comes into this thing. Issue licenses to some of these local refiners, bring them on board, guide them, let their operational guidelines be up to standard so that they do not deplete the environment. In which case we can now talk about what? Narrowing the refining gap. Else we will be having problems. You understand what I'm saying now? It is very, very important. Even currently as we speak now, the federal government has given licenses to about 90 importers. NNPC has been told by the Federal Consumer and Competition Board that each quota will be 40% of the market share, meaning other importers will import 50%. How many of them have money to import, given what the dollar is? Now, if they import and bring back, who can buy?
All right. Moving on because of our time, barely 1 month to the governorship election in Kogi State. a former chieftain of the APC in Angba local government area, Yahaya Ododo, has dumped his party membership and joined the Action Alliance. He said he did so for equity, fairness, and justice to be chronicled in the governorship of Kogi State. Now, talking about Kogi State, you know, our brother, the former senator, is in the race, and then APC is at the national. Do you think anything will happen? And then, talk about this man who left the ruling party to join AA, of all political parties, to join AA. And then, as a man who had been in the ruling party, what do you think would have informed the motive for this, Council?
Well, the truth of the matter is that in governorship election, you find that a lot of people are interested. And when somebody is denied ticket in one place, he jumps to another place. Sometimes not necessarily to win, but to acquire some bargaining power. That is politics for you. You acquire some leverage to enable you negotiate. Okay? Subsequently, I would ask my followers to support you, but then something has to give.
Yes.
I may not go into litigation after, but then something has to give, and so on and so forth. So the snake that is, crawling among the thorns certainly has a purpose for so doing. That is for the Kogi election. I don't need to go in depth into that. The man knows what he's doing. He may not get it, but he wants to be in a position to assert.
Okay, comrade, you know what, if we go by what the barrister said and what politics is also is, what politics is in Nigeria, a man who is, because I know in those days, one of our political fathers in AD said that it is better to be a member of a winning party than to be a national chairman of a losing party.
I think what Council said was actually right. What the man has just done is upping the ante. He is just upping the ante to raise the scales and make himself relevant in the conversation. You understand? He will tell you that he has moved with his structure.
Yes.
That he has moved away with his structure, and that he has moved away with his supporters, that he is controlling so and so number of local government area. I begin to tell you that just to be relevant in the conversation. In any likelihood, he may not even go to court, just like Council said, and may still be waiting for what? Reward. Maybe the particular strategy here is that he is looking for he may be looking for a particular post, but using a bigger post to negotiate it. You understand? And that is what I mean by upping the ante. Be that as it may, I think it is politics in Nigeria. All the political gladiators, they want to be relevant. And since the system itself, because of weak institutions, allows this migration called cross-carpeting or carpet crossing, they are always in the habit of joining this party. In fact, you hardly tell me one politician, even our president, he has been a member of about three political parties: AD, AC, ACN, now APC. That's 4. You understand? Buhari had been MPP, APC. Virtually everybody, even our governors, even our senators. You understand? And they do it not even minding whether they are
shamelessly.
Yes, shamelessly, and they will tell you that it is being done after wider consultation.
They didn't consult anybody.
And you're going to
ask,
ask
tell us
who and who has been
you're not serving
consulted.
us, you're enriching your pocket.
Yeah, who and who has been consulted. So this is still part of the whole thing in Nigeria.
All right, shortly before we go on break, I did not forge any certificate. The APC had accused Atiku Abubakar of forging his secondary school certificate. Atiku had explained using the name Sadiq Abubakar for his WAEC, and after passing his exams, he went to swear an affidavit to say, I am the same person. He said he went to ABU as Atiku Abubakar and passed all his exams as Atiku Abubakar. the APC had accused Atiku Abubakar of forging a secondary school certificate, and then because the name is Sadiq Abubakar instead of Atiku Abubakar, and Atiku has come out to explain the change, and that immediately he swore an affidavit to that effect even before going to ABU, and has remained Atiku Abubakar. He also said they can also go and find out. Council.
Yes, what APC is doing clearly is diversionary. It's obvious they want to divert attention, and it's like saying, if you think you are not guilty, cast the first stone or something. But it's also easy to distinguish between the case of Tinubu and the case of Atiku. It would seem that for Tinubu, serially on every issue that has turned out to be relevant, we have been fed with misinformation. That camp has been most economical with the truth on every issue. Why is his background shrouded in secrecy and controversy? Parentage, secrecy and controversy. Certificate at every level, primary, secondary, university. Even Keyamo told us that Tinubu didn't attend any school, that he passed from home.
Yeah.
That was what
that
Keyamo told us.
Yes,
correspondence.
That he did correspondence.
And clearly, that is contradictory to the position by Tinubu that, look, I attended, I was in school, I was a first-class student, I was this, I was that. So something cannot be both true and false at the same time.
Of Lagos State.
People know that others do change of names. It's not anything strange. But when you do, it is predicated on an existing position that is also made public. It is stated that I, formerly known as, you declare the format and then notify the world of the present, the new, going forward you now want to adopt. But in this other one, everything is a mystery, everything is fraudulent, everything is apparent forgery. It's bizarre. And why people like us are very upset about this one done by Tinubu's camp is that every Nigerian is now paying the price for it. You may not appreciate what is happening until you go with your green passport, board a flight, and enter one small country. Even little mushroom toy countries. Yes, on paper, everybody is a sovereign nation. But in strength and might and size and everything, they are not up to Nigeria. But now they are beginning to flex muscles for us because we have reduced ourselves to the barest minimum. It's a shame. Okay. It's a shame. The two are not the same at all. Let them not try to distract attention and tell us Atiku did a change of name. That is diverting attention from the real thing in issue.
All right.
We will continue to dig.
All right, comrade.
Yes, there is nothing wrong with name. Your name can be anything. You understand? But when it comes to the issue of seeking electoral or political office, what you have to do is to simply depose to an affidavit in a court of law, saying you understand, whose name is this, I'm also, I am the same and one person. The question we should be asking is there any change of name to that effect on the part of Atiku? Yes. And he availed
it is formal.
He availed the record to his subject, that's Bele Momodu, who broke this news, I think yesterday. He availed the record, said, yes, I changed my name from Sadiq. And then again, there is another thing. All of us have names, and there is a way we are also addressed. In informal sector or in informal setting, I am Nnamdi Lekwachi. But in a formal setting, my name Peter is there. Even Peter Obi is Peter Gregory Obi, but he is known simply as Peter Obi. But when the records are tendered, you see that he has all.
Just like people call me Emeka.
Yes.
Emeka is not really my name.
Now listen.
Chukwu Emeka.
Yes.
Formally, I'm Chukwu Emeka.
You see,
but informally, people call me Emeka.
There is this thing about the camp of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I don't want to preempt the Supreme Court, but do you know that the fact that Tinubu used the name Adekunle, you understand, Adekunle in one of the papers he tendered before he got admitted in that CSU, Chicago State University. 3 or 4 days ago, they went and put Adekunle
on Twitter,
on other records, Wikipedia and what have you. It now became Bola Ahmed Adekunle Tinubu. And don't you see that? To me, that one is. I don't know. I don't know. So why would they be talking? You understand? What I am expecting, what I've been expecting is that Tinubu addresses this matter by himself. Let there be a press statement coming from him saying, I did not, in all my academic attainment, forge any document. But now listen, Festus Keyamo said he did correspondence education. He was
so brilliant that he didn't need to go to school,
and that he had a humble beginning. How I want to put in the context he actually put it. He said he had a humble background. Nobody to take care of him. When he started growing, he did correspondence, and that was why the president could not tender certificates like first school living or WAEC. Now he went to America and then furthered his education. Fine. Now we are hearing about government college, Lagos State, and we are also hearing that the date of graduation
certificate
preceded the date of founding of the school. You understand? So these are the things Tinubu should actually come out to say. There were mistakes. Even the CSU, the Chicago State University, said there were some typos, but it is African thing to alter.
But did they say African or Nigerian?
Even Nigerian thing or African thing.
Yes.
So to me, I feel
we are now known for fraud, for alteration of certificates and records.
I feel the president owes Nigerians this. You understand? His name, his record, his integrity should be more important than any ambition or aspiration. And that is why I'm expecting him to still talk, because the fact that the president objected that move by Atiku to have his records published in the public speaks a lot.
So
understand? And then again,
he fought it.
He said it will cause harm to him. And then again, and then again, the president trying to stop a record you say is existing. It's just like myself saying, Council, I want to see your record. It is a simple thing. All of us have record. And I think by the time we begin to talk about this, the laws must be revisited to expand everything about background. Why is it that we keep having presidents whose background we cannot decipher? If it is not a medical background, it is academic background. But even Yaradua, medical background, we were not told what he was sick of, but he was early. He died. Buhari, and he spent almost, in fact, I think he was nearly spending almost 1,000 days outside the shores of this country on medical grounds. Nobody told us anything. Now,
plus his affidavit
that is also equivalent to academic record. Now, Tinubu's case is all about that. And I think it's the time we say you cannot expect somebody to be a president and you're expecting them to tender things like WAEC or even primary school leaving certificates in the contemporary Nigeria, where we know that graduates, we are even fighting with graduates these days.
All right, wonderful viewers, we're going to go on a very short break, and when we come back, Nigeria Today continues. Don't go away. Keep watching Living TV. We'll be back shortly. Great Nigerians, I'm glad you're still there. Thank you for being part of today's program again as usual. All right, moving on, petrol stations shutting down, marketers warn. Petroleum products marketers have warned that small retail outlets are shutting down operations due to increasing cost of running the business. The marketers faulted the process followed by the President Tinubu in the removal of subsidies on petrol, saying measures that would have been in place were not considered before the removal of the subsidy. Comrade, I'm starting with you.
Yes.
They are about, so many of them are shutting down.
Yes.
You know, they already told us that they should be sold at 800 naira.
Yes, they can no longer
because there are
be
no
in
more
business.
feasting, if I should borrow Castle's word.
Yes, they can no longer be in business. No, the people we're talking about now are the owners of filling stations. Those are the retailers selling directly to the consumers. They can no longer be in business because of the same thing I'm talking about. Before you talk about removing subsidy, there have to be other plans, you understand, that will wage the policy itself, that will not actually expose to a great extent Nigerians to hardship as we are seeing now. But unfortunately, the president did not consider all these things. He announced that subsidy was gone, and we saw the effect. Then secondly, the same president, this is the mistake, now floated the naira vis-a-vis the dollar. Why am I talking about? I'm talking about it because the product is hinged on what? On foreign exchange. Availability of dollar will now make the marketers and even the NNPC to do what? To procure or to buy back from wherever we have shipped them for refining. Now, due to what? This fall in naira, occasioned by Tinubu himself too, people are no longer able to buy. So it's becoming a problem. And I think if care is not taken, like the market has said, and then other unions, Nigerians may have money, but may not see the product to buy. But I pray we don't get to that level. I think the president should come out bold now and say, it is not wrong to reintroduce subsidy. And I said, you cannot have a subsidy-free economy when none of your refineries are working.
Okay, Council.
Well, I had earlier on said something about the proverbial dog and the man with the enlarged or swollen scrotal sac. I wouldn't change that view or opinion. I still stand by it. We should also put in place things that will help us to cushion the effect of this subsidy removal.
Yes.
It was ill-advised at that point in time. Well, he has done it. Let's move forward and do not continue crying over spilled milk.
All right, as national gears up for the off-season elections in Bayelsa, Imo State, and the Kogi State, Nigerians have expressed doubt over the integrity of electoral process in the concerned state. We know there are 3 major states now that will be facing election by November.
Yes.
And the Nigerians are saying, how do we trust this Inec again? Council.
The Nigerians who have said so, I think are number one among them. We cannot trust Inec. It is sad, but if at this age some of us are unable to say our mind, say what we mean and mean what we say, then it's most unfortunate. I do not trust the present leadership of Inec to be impartial. They should not be independent. Their name actually should be Partial Dependent National Electoral Commission or something like that. They are both partial, they are both dependent, and they are not really capable of reflecting the will of the people. They have demonstrated it. I wonder which electoral act they are going to use, whether they are going to promulgate a new one. If it is this one that we just used in the general election, that all of us are still, we just ended at the tribunals. Everybody is now heading to the next level of appeal, depending on which election, whereby INEC would swear with their dead ancestors and living ones that they are going to do, transmission, electronic transmission of results. Results will be coming in real time, only for them to get to that place, and it is no longer like that. I mean, how do you, as a nation, how do we make progress? You tell people this is the way the election is going to be conducted. You set the rules of engagement, And then the parties go out to battle, bearing in mind the rules of engagement. And those rules of engagement are breached by you, the umpire. Then later on, you now turn around to tell another set of gladiators, we're also going into combat using the same rules of engagement. Nobody will take you serious.
All right, comrade. This time around, they are talking about manual transmission, and then Nigerians are doubting their integrity.
Yes, I'm among those doubting their integrity. I'm among those. I'm even in the.
I said I am one.
I'm even at the vanguard. You are one, but I'm
number one.
I could be number one. I'm actually spearheading this. You see, if you had read the report from EU, it says that Inec raised the public confidence of Nigerians by telling them that they will transmit election result electronically for it to be viewed in real time, but could not do so. That by so doing, Inec destroyed the confidence the public has in it. I'm putting EU the way they said it. The same EU had said in 2019 that by virtue of sacking a sitting CJN because of his perceived political affiliation, that Buhari, or to a great extent, determined the outcome of that election. I'm putting EU now, who are stakeholders in our election. You see, I wonder why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the number one beneficiary of the 2023 election, did not consider it necessary to carry out laudable reforms in INEC. I will tell you something. In 2007, when he was elected, President Omar Musa Yar'Adua toured around the world, visiting the United Nations just like the president has done, visiting many offices, visiting many groups, visiting many agencies of the United Nations, and was being hosted by the world at large. When he appeared before the G8, something happened. The G8 is now known as G7, following the expulsion of Russia. He was asked a question, said, back home, what do you consider the most pressing challenge you have? He was going to say, elections. He said the election that brought him to office was mad with irregularities. In fact, he said the election that brought me to office is flawed. And that was when he inaugurated or he set up the UWES committee. You understand? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not even thinking of electoral reforms. It's not even part of his agenda. You understand? He's not even thinking of electoral reforms. And giving the you see, let me draw an instance. And I'm sorry this is happening this way. Last 2 weeks or so, a football game actually happened where they were trying to use VAR. You understand? That's VAR to check offside. And the VAR ruled offside. The officials did not see it in time, and they said the ball had been disallowed. Do you know, as we speak today, that they had been reformed? You understand? Official apology has been rendered. The people who had officiated this match are no longer going to officiate for some time. After all the hues and cries, Nigerians saw what INEC did. INEC did not live up to the situation. It's not about Tinubu or ABC or anybody. I'm talking about the standard, the rules INEC set. INEC performed abysmally low. You know what I'm saying now? Yet, the president did not see it needful to carry out reforms in that commission. So to me, Nigeria should expect that. And then what INEC is trying to do is window dressing to save face that we are now going to do it manually. Whereas, before now, we've been talking about what? Reforms. They wasted, in fact, 130-something billion naira was actually wasted on this election. Over 100 billion naira, or only that, went to technology alone. How can you spend such amount of money and now you are still doing manual? It's unfortunate.
All right. The last but not the least for today, Lagos State government seals churches, nightclubs, and others over noise pollution. And now, looking at this, the Lagos State government has sealed the churches, bars, nightclubs, event centers, and other establishments over noise pollution. The sealing of the establishment was carried out by the officials of the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, LASPA. When talking about this church, you are also a chieftain in your church, you are a tele-evangelist, and you are a knight of, I don't know whether it's Mulumba Council. I know you are in that area, you know what I'm talking about.
And you are a prelate? The last time I checked, you always told us you are a prelate.
No, my church don't make noise. Now, if you are going around this town, both in the night and so, most of the churches are built within the streets where people live. And even in the nights when they talk about what they call Tarry night and so on, you see big speakers. Most of the speakers are in somebody's house, living places and so on. And then this Lagos state now has decided, and so many churches have been sealed on this after several warnings, and the thing continues. And normally at this part of the globe, if you do that, they will either see you as an occultist.
Antichrist.
Antichrist, exactly. So counsel, what do you say to this?
I clearly support the move by the Lagos state government. That is the truth of the matter. When things like this happen, sanity has to start from somewhere. It is unfortunate that the church, rather than leading in what is good, is rather leading in what is retrogressive. It is not really the church as a corporate entity, but a few individuals who have seen the church as a means of making money. Church has now been commercialized. Otherwise, why would people, after slaving in the modern day Nigeria to eke out a living in the daytime, at night you will not even allow them to rest? That which God has given. That is when you now fix your tarry night. I don't have any quarrel with tarry night. Let truth be told. I am a Christian. I do also engage in it privately and without any form of public address system. That is what the problem is about. The next, some misguided individuals who are holier than the Pope will try to tell us that it is working against the right to freedom of worship. No. Every right is circumscribed. Your right stops where my nose starts. You are at liberty to engage in your commercial theatrics and all whatnot, all the drama that we watch, the several healings, the anointing, you blow, people fall down and everything. At the end of the day, the sicknesses are still there. You are at liberty to do all those things. But the mockery against the name of Christ should be stopped. Allow people their peace of mind. At night, do your tarry night without the loudspeakers. Why would you put loudspeakers outside if you want to attract customers? They are not parishioners. Your parishioners should be able to hear what you are saying when they are inside the church hall. But don't go looking for customers at night. Only witches and wizards do that. Those people that disturb us at night, claiming that they are doing prayer, you are actually the witches and the wizards. That's my personal view, and I will take them on any day. Let's trash this out. What the Lagos state government has done is right. I wish that every other state would begin to follow suit. Kaduna did it sometime.
Yes.
Kaduna state did it.
El-Rufai did it.
Now, no, not El-Rufai. Kaduna state government did it. El-Rufai didn't do it. Lagos state government is doing it. Let other state government, because if it's about El-Rufai, when he's not there, everything goes back to square one. That shouldn't be the case. Let all the states today start it. If you want to do all your noise with the public address systems during service in the daytime, feel free, go ahead and do that. But for God's sake, once it is 10 at night,
even 10 is much.
No, at least let's try to strike somewhere.
No, I don't even agree
no,
with
that. This is my own. This is my own view.
I know.
At least if we accommodate these noisemakers parading as religious houses, if we accommodate them and tolerate them until 10 p.m. from that time till 6, and that goes for all religions, including our brothers who make their call to worship by, I think the first one is about 4 a.m., the Muslims. It should be stopped. I'm not just talking about Christians alone. Both the nightclub, the Muslims, the Christians, the traditionalists, allow us to sleep from 10 to 6. Don't do your stuff. Don't disturb us. Let us sleep.
Okay, before I get to comrade, has it anything to do with civil liberty? I came across that sometime, saying that you should not allow your enjoyment to disturb others.
I said so. I said that your right stops where my nose starts. In the process of exercising your right or enjoying it, you should ensure that you do not infringe of mine. I am also entitled to be protected from your noise. The fact that you are shouting Christ, Christ does not necessarily mean you are Christian. The Bible also says so that not all who are saying Lord, Lord, yes, will enter the kingdom. Most of them, we keep on hearing every day, these are the pastors that rape their members, impregnate juveniles, and so on, defraud people. There are other programs which some of us handle daily. You witness all these things. A pastor will go and collect money from people, will procure visa for you. People are desperate because you think he's a man of God, in quote. You contribute money and give to him. He's riding a vehicle and you are trekking. At the end of the day, no visa, no pastor, nothing. So we should go easy. We are by record, and I'm actually quoting the entry by Google. You can Google it here. The most religious nation on earth, the most prayerful nation on earth is Nigeria. Yet we are the poverty capital of the world. While the ministers who are telling us to pray more and more, they are not praying for themselves. When they have health issues, they attend the best hospitals. They fly abroad and go and see the best doctors there. But when their members now have health issues, they come, they kneel down and they lay hands on them. So the doctor is good for the minister, but he's not good for the member.
Okay.
Stupidity.
Okay, yeah, talking about that, comrade, you just reminded me of something. What about some of them who will give you stickers as,
for protection?
For protection, and yet they have
soldiers. There are a lot of symbols they give. They give a lot of symbols. Some give you handkerchief, some give you stickers or bumper stickers. Some even give you water. Some give you oil. Some give you a lot of things. So some of you wear vests these days.
There's one apron,
visibility vest,
something pole or something.
Visibility vest. Just like the one motorcyclists wear. To me, we should stop masquerading and start living Christ. The last time I checked, prayer simply means meditation. It has not changed. Prayer doesn't mean shouting. It doesn't mean quarreling. The Bible has actually established that the devil is our enemy. You understand? And there is a purpose for God allowing him to be there. So all these ones you are saying you are killing the devil, all these ones you will still kill him tomorrow. The next tomorrow you kill
the devil daily, and
the devil is becoming now a fire-breathing Leviathan, or yes, the cat with countless lives. I want to say this. You see, in Nigeria we are not a praying nation. We are a hypocrite nation. In fact, the most hypocritical and I will say this, you see, we begin October 1 with prayer from a man, you understand? Then we close the same event with prayer from one chaplain or one pastor or one bishop or howsoever called. But unfortunately, those who are also being prayed for have no sign whatsoever to commit to nation building. I wish we had listened to the last speech by this man from East Africa. What was that? His name again. He made a speech where he said Africans have been told to pray. Years been praying. You understand? And nations like China that don't even pray much. Nations like India, you understand? They are beginning to emerge while we are still stuck. Our uncles are still falling from the palm trees. And it's unfortunate. Now listen, you see, right. He was saying something. I want to share my experience here. I live somewhere in Aba, but maybe by virtue of our practice, I will not mention the name of the churches I'm talking about now. There are 4 churches close to my neighborhood. One of them
doing shouting competition.
One of them is notorious for using public address system at night to do prayer, to practice for choirs to practice. And I approached the pastor personally. I said, the way your members, your choir, is singing You understand? Using public address system. Can't they do it before so that when they come to church, they can now use the public address system? On normal Sundays, he said if I don't like it, I should go to court. That was what that man told me. And I wish he is watching this. Now, I approached the National Human Rights Commission. You know why? Yes, I approached them over that matter. They wrote to them. The man stopped that, but the man perceived me to be the devil. But the truth remains, your right to freedom of worship should not encroach on my right to privacy and family life. I should have my privacy and family life. That family life means maybe I want to reflect with my children or even with my wife. It could be realization. It could be normal conversation. It could even be love making. And by virtue of you exercising your right to freedom of worship, you are trying to do what encroach on my right. And this is why it's very, very needful. Government should begin to talk about the planning of the cities and then of states.
Yes, the churches
most of these churches should not be where they are.
Especially those ones that are in warehouses.
They are polluting the environment, including the clubs. We must also say this too. Some hotels are existing now. You need to see the kind of noise that blare out from their systems. It's unbearable. You understand? The same thing with event centers. You see the rowdiness, the disorganization, everything. So I think government should begin to talk about how to create laws to restrict some of these things. We are not saying you don't worship God. We are not saying you don't serve God. But we are saying when you serve God, Christ didn't go to pray at night to disturb the Jews.
All right, wonderful viewers. This is where we draw the curtain right now. And then there's thank God for this topic, and this is the last topic. I think the churches have had us, most of the pastors and so on. There are certain things you do, and you will be disturbing your neighbors. Well, then, if shouting with a public address system, why evangelism? What is the meaning of evangelism? What is the essence of evangelism from door to door? Just like the Jehovah's Witnesses and so on. I think we should learn from there. And the law is already there. I just want to tell you, because that civil liberty is just what it is all about. And then before
even
we
the
go,
public health laws.
Yeah?
The public health law. Yes. Classified as nuisance.
It's pollution.
It is nuisance.
All right, from my far left, Barrister Chukwemeka Nwago, please, your parting word before we leave.
Please, churches, stop disturbing the neighborhood. Learn to, Christ says, when you want to worship, go into your closet. Closet actually means into yourself, the inner. Go there and pray and seek the face of God. Stop commercializing everything. Everything is not business. Tithe, seed, and that you are advertising for customers. Please.
Okay, comrade. Your parting word.
Yeah, thank you. He who must come to equity must come with clean hands. I'm expecting the president and his team to do better in terms of being more transparent and being more open and direct and intentional with Nigerians, whether in the area of subsidy or making such disclosures that would prove to us that would tell us that yes, our president is not a fraudster. That's by the way. Then number two, the issue of the church. Yes, the church, the club, the hoteliers, the hotel owners, event center owners, they must know that rights are rights, and that where another person's right stops is where another person's right also begins. You do not infringe other person's right by virtue of trying to maximize and enjoy your own. That will become unconstitutional act. Thank you.
All right, wonderful viewers, that's the much we are going to take today. I am very grateful that you've been there, that you've been with us all through this program. God bless you and keep a date with us. Remember, issues of the moment will be coming your way in a few days' time. Having said that, from my far left, I have Barrister Chukwemeka Nwago. Barrister, we're pleased to have you here today.
Thank you.
And Comrade Nnamdi Elekwachi, we are glad you are here.
It's my pleasure to always be here. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye, viewers.
And this is your anchorman, Chinedum Adiele, signing off for now. Bye.